when it's something horrible, people can't usually help but look towards it. If we see something terrible, if we see some atrocity, some horrible tragedy, we just, as human beings, we can't really help but pay attention to that. Our attention just gravitates towards it. Whereas if it's something good, if it's something beautiful, well, beauty is in so much in the eye of the beholder, isn't it? We all have different perspectives on what's beautiful, what's good, what's laudable, what's admirable, what's worthy of celebration. But so if say you work so hard and you give it your all and you risk everything to become an extremely accomplished cellist, and you do, and you achieve greatness as a cellist, and you do it. You achieve a form of immortality, like Yo-Yo Ma or someone like that. Just as an example, someone whose work and whose accomplishments will live on beyond his or her death. So say you achieve this, and you've done it. You've gotten that fame. You've gotten that immortality. You've done everything right. Like the gamble pays off, and you put in all that hard work, and you did it, and that's a great thing. But the downside of that is not everyone appreciates cello music. That not everyone appreciates orchestral music. I mean, most people appreciate music, but what kind of music they like is a very personal thing. And so if you do something great, if you do something really laudable, and you perfect your craft, and you hone your skills to the maximum, and you do everything right, you might, once you reach that pinnacle and you become famous, there's still going to be a lot of people in the world who don't care, who don't. I mean, or maybe they might care a little bit, but they don't necessarily appreciate you. They aren't necessarily going to watch or listen to or enjoy your work. They might know your name through cultural osmosis, but they aren't going to actually partake of your art, of your of your accomplishments, of your achievements in whatever field. I mean, incredibly successful scientists that are largely unknown or completely unknown outside of their field. They might have a lot of admirers, and their colleagues might respect them a great deal, and they might have done great things in the service of science. They might be geniuses. They might have done brilliant work, but when it just comes to the public, when it just comes to people, just in general, most people probably have no idea who these people are. And so there's always that. Even if you do everything right, if you put in all the right work, and you strive for legitimate fame and legitimate recognition, then there's still no guarantee. Even if you do everything right and you accomplish your goals and all the risk and hard work pays off, you might still be somewhat anonymous. I mean, at least to large portions of the population. And the sort of perverse thing about that is that infamy is strangely the opposite in a lot of ways. It's because I think of the most infamous people in history. Very small percentage of the population actively admires these people. Only some disturbed people who idolize serial killers and mass killers and, horrible oppressive tyrants and that kind of thing. There's, that's what, maybe 10% of the global population. I mean, that might be kind of a pessimistic estimate, but just, most people don't like the things that these terrible people, these killers have. They don't like the things that they've done. They don't like the work that they did, which is good. But at the same time, simultaneously, probably like at least 80% of the population can't help but pay attention to these infamous people. I mean, even, when we hear about something dreadful in the news, we kind of can't help but pay attention to one degree or another. I mean, it just, when you see something horrible, something shocking and terrible, that just grabs your attention. Something, I mean, it's along the same lines of why, like scandals and drama and kind of like the seedy underbelly of things entertains people so much. It captivates people so much. It's just human nature. I don't claim to fully understand exactly why that is, but I would hazard to guess that it's mostly about because it's forbidden, because it's bad, because it's something we're not supposed to be interested in. We're not supposed to pay attention to, or maybe not pay attention to, but we're not supposed to be titillated by, I guess. Not in a, not in an erotic way, but just in the sense of like being entertained by it, of being intrigued by it, of it capturing our imaginations. We know we're not supposed to be so entertained by a tragedy. Like and people don't see it. I would imagine most people who do this are not seeing it in the sense, they're not like thinking of it like, oh, I'm being entertained by this. But that, that is what, if we're being honest, that is what's going on. It's people engage with things like that, like it's entertainment. They engage with the most heinous atrocities, and they treat it like entertainment. And I'm not judging. I'm not judging anyone for doing that. We all have these kind of like just the morbid curiosity is, it's just part of human nature.